Welcome everyone, my name is William from Scenic, Luxury Cruises and Tours, and I am going to do a little webinar on Scenic Russia today. And then you can go back to your preferred travel agent, get more information and prices, etc. And we hope to see you on board in the not too distant future. So I've been lucky enough to be to Russia twice now with Scenic, and a journey and a memory I'll never forget. It's just an absolutely wonderful destination visit. Just another thing that I like to mention as well is that we have the history of Scenic. It started 35 years ago now by Glenn Maroney down the Great Ocean Road with a minibus near Melbourne. And then he expanded into theatre packages in the area, New Zealand, Canada, Alaska, etc. We do river cruising now, as you'll know, and obviously Russia, and we also do ocean cruising now as well. So things have changed. I've been with them for just over 12 years now, and I've seen some wonderful growth for the company. We've also, this 2 years in a row running, we have been recommended by which provider for best river cruise company out there. So very, very proud. And as you can see, some great awards and accolades in front of you. So let's have a little look through Russia. And we're going to take the scenic route. You'll see those wonderful churches all over Russia if you do decide to travel there, with the wonderful domes on top as well. Very stand out, and many, many of them along the route that you'll travel. It's all inclusive as well. You've got your suites, beautiful suites. I'll talk about them shortly. You've got your breakfast, lunch, and your dinner. You get beer, wine, and soft drinks with your lunch and dinner. Then you've got the Scenic Enriched program as well, which is extra highlights that we offer with the Scenic Free Choice. And that is all the tours that are included with your cruise. You don't have to worry about paying optionals with us. And we also include the flights from the UK, and we also include tipping. So that's nice that that is all covered for you. So there she is, Scenic Tsar, and she's 112 guests on board, 56 cabins. There's 4 non-balcony cabins down the front, just where the people are standing there. You'll see them underneath, but the rest of the ship is balcony. And the balconies were really roomy when I was on board. So it's a lovely ship. We refurbished it in 2012. You can't outrightly own a river ship in Russia by government policy. So we have taken a big stakehold in it, and we have replenished it or refurbished it to what the best that we can do with the Russian ships. And it's really lovely inside, etc. And that's the reception area when you walk on board, a lovely welcome. You've got a lift there as well to take you to the different levels, or you can use a stairwell. You've got the Neva bar off to the left, and down to the right, you've also got the non-balcony suites down there, the doctor's area down there as well, which I'll mention a little bit later for you. Wonderful in the panorama lounge and bar, and this is really a nice area on board. You've got Anna there standing at the bar. I remember she was on when we were on the ship, serving all the drinks in the evening. So as I mentioned, beer and wine and soft drinks with your lunch and dinner. You will pay for drinks in the evening or outside of those meals. And it was really quite reasonable, I remember rightly, when I was on board. There's a Wi-Fi area at the very back of this lounge as well for you, and you can use the computer, but you can also use your iPhones, etc. as well. Just remember to take an adapter with you. But we can explain all that to you when you make your booking. That's another nice view to give you a further look back into the panorama lounge and bar. You've got the lovely little shop as well. You can buy the Russian dolls there also. You can do little painting classes around here as well, and the dolls, etc. So it's a really nice experience. There's a nice close-up of Anna and the guests on board having a lovely cold beer in Russia. Crystal Dining is a lovely area. So this is the main restaurant, as is the big restaurant on board. You can have a snack, etc. upstairs in the sun deck area. But this is just a lovely place to sit and relax and enjoy all your meals on board. The food was really delicious when I was on. Also, remember the ice cream was absolutely beautiful. Everyone was going back for seconds. Have crystal dining, once again, a nice image of the meals coming out as well, and the lovely staff to look after you throughout your journey. The captain's dinner was another nice highlight as well. You'll maybe not get to this, but they'll do an invite for you. So hopefully a couple of you at least will get to meet the captain. He was a lovely guy, and he took us up to the bridge as well and showed us all the controls, etc., of the ship and how he was navigating. Balcony suites on board, lovely and spacious, as you can see, tea and coffee making facilities in there as well, and a nice balcony on the outside. You can see Keysy Island outside there as well, as one of the places that you would bypass. Lovely inside. The Royal Suites, more space once again. You get the TV there as well if you want to watch. I was watching like BBC World and different things. So it's all in there for you, all en suite as well. Lovely bathrooms on board, towels, everything that you need to make that perfect and comfortable cruise with Scenic. Royal Panorama suites. There's two of these at the very front of the ship. They were really spacious, lovely. And the balcony to the side was a great asset to it. But you also look out to the front, so you can see yourself going through the locks, etc., as you're traveling the Volga between Moscow. There's another itinerary as well. The sun deck is a lovely space upstairs as well to go and sit and enjoy the sunshine in the summer in Russia. It gets quite hot over there. You've got the scenery outside as well. There's a little bar area up here now as well that you can go and spend some time in and get some drinks. And then that's another nice view of cocktail and seeing the beautiful churches and the great history that happen all the time in the waterways of Russia. Onboard lectures as well. I really enjoy these. They'll do Russian language classes about the culture, etc., that you're passing by. So just to keep you up to date and give you an in-depth knowledge of what's around you and all about the Russian culture, etc. They also have some little presentations and cooking classes as well, which I thoroughly enjoyed. This is a vodka tasting one that we did. She looked happy, and we were all happy as well, having our little vodka. And then there's a wellness centre, so you can get a massage and the hairdresser here as well. They are chargeable, the prices are in your suite, and you'll just book that whilst you're on board. So let's have a little look about where we go. And this is Scenic Tsar going through one of the wonderful locks in Russia on the rivers. The thing I really liked about it as well was they're all next to the big hydroelectric system, dam systems. So they've built these locks to the side of that. The engineering, etc., was really, really amazing. Something else to remember also in Moscow, the ship is docked about 16 k's out of town. St. Petersburg as well, it's docked a little bit further out town. They cannot get into the centre of Moscow or St. Petersburg due to the size of the ships and the bridges, etc. It's a really nice thing because you can travel in by coach, learn about the language, the alphabet, the history, learn about how people are living in the local areas. There's also ambassadors on board the ship which help you with the language. They'll also take you over to the underground system, the metro, not far from the ship in Moscow. It's quite a nice walk through the park as well. Really, really enjoyable, and show you how to use the metro to get into town. So this is the first itinerary we'll look at, the Jewels of Russia. It's 15 days, St. Petersburg to Moscow, or you can do Moscow to St. Petersburg. So you will stay in Moscow for a few nights, you will stay in St. Petersburg, similar as well, and then you'll cruise in between. So just remember that. So it's not cruising all the time. And there's a nice itinerary map there for you. Very different from Europe river cruising, a lot of sailing. There's quite long sailing days. But that just to get the distances are so vast, but it's good. It gets you and you can do things on board like lectures, sit up on that sun deck, get the cameras out, get all the photos that you need, wave at the locals you're going by. Just a wonderful, wonderful experience. Great itinerary: Moscow, Uglitch, Yaroslavl, Goritse, Kizzy Island, which is the famous church there, and Lake Ladoga. And what, you know, you feel as if you're in the middle of the ocean with the size of the lakes in Russia. Incredible. And into St. Petersburg, and as you can see, right next to the Gulf of Finland. And Imperial Russia, the other one you can do is Moscow to Stalingrad, which is now called Volgograd. Changed the name in 1961, but I have been told 5 days a year now they change it back to Stalingrad in memorial of the war, the Second World War, the fighting there. A nice itinerary there: Moscow, Uglitch, and then you'll sail down the Volga and in to Stalingrad. That's a nice image in the background as well, because you will go to the Cosmonaut Museum in Moscow. If you want to do that trip, highly recommend it for you. It's learn all about spacecraft and space stations, etc. And there I am, standing in the center of Moscow. And I've always a dream of mine, never thought I would get to do it, but very proud now that I have, twice now. That's the Moskva River there. We do a little cruise along there as well. When we were on, the crew actually bought drinks and some nibbles, etc. from the Tsar, Scenic Tsar. You get the Kremlin in the background there, which means fortress. Some Russian cities have Kremlins in them. Beautiful inside, the churches, etc. And just a lovely area to spend time in and get the views of. Moscow is a stunning city. I was really taken aback by how beautiful the architecture, how clean it was as well. Nice closer image there, just to give you an idea. And you've got all that, you've got the Red Square just in there as well. St. Basil's Cathedral. There was a choir singing when we were inside here. You get the Kremlin right next door, Red Square just in front there, and then you've got the GUM shopping centre to the right as well. As you can see, all the trendy clothing, etc., you can buy in Russia, which was really interesting to see. Moscow Metro. Wow, and that's included. We do a couple of stops on the train with guides, and I really enjoyed that. The architecture down here, the way it's looked after, is just unbelievable, and it's a real highlight as well. Look at that. That's one of the stations you'll walk into. It's incredible. Couldn't believe it, how beautiful, how well kept it all was. And there's one of the trains there as well. So you'll go onto one of the trains with the guide, take you a couple of stops, and you have some free time after that to walk around the streets. Really enjoyable experience. And then when we arrived into Moscow, we'd seen Stalin's Seven Sisters. This is one of them. Double buildings, I couldn't believe it. I think Stalin was trying to keep up with the US and like the massive skyscrapers and buildings in Chicago and New York, etc. So he built 7 of these, and they house hotels and offices and some apartments as well. Incredible. You can see the skyline down there. Inside the Kremlin was great as well. We were lucky enough to see like a changing of the guard here as well, which was really nice to see the Russian soldiers and just to experience that within the Kremlin walls itself. This was great. There's the gate. You come in just down at the bottom there under the red and the Kremlin wall. Through there, the armory, etc., is just on the right at the back there. And then these wonderful Cossack soldiers riding by, and I managed to grab the photograph as they were passing by. Great experience, great for photography, etc. The armory with all those wonderful gifts that were given to the Tsars for hundreds of years from all over the world. Get to see that. The Fabergé eggs are in here as well. Golden carriages, the carriages of the Tsars. There's another area in there also that you can see. And then we go to the Cosmonaut Museum. And this is one of the cosmonauts. He's one of the curators at the museum, Alexander Levekin. We were lucky enough to meet him and spend time with him and learn about his life when he was up in the space. Really, really enjoyable. But here's a little video to give you a bit of an overview of some of the areas in Russia, and then we'll carry on with the presentation.
Our scenic journey set sail in Moscow and now lands us in one of Russia's oldest towns, Uglitch. Leaving the busyness of Moscow behind, Scenic give you the chance to come and have a look at some of the smaller towns here in Russia, where tradition is strong, the people are absolutely lovely, and if you pay with cash, there are some cracker deals. Yep, these are the not-so-secret locations that let you save some money and give you a chance to get to know the locals. And do you love all the tourist boats coming in and all the tourists from around the world coming to visit you?
I love all the tourists, you see, and we even just happy when we see foreigners, and they are, when I hear the words, "Oh, I have bought what I was looking for," you see, that is the best, best, yeah.
This is the place to shop.
Yeah, right.
Very good, with Tatiana. Uglitch is a pretty town with a pretty dark history. This was where the son of the first Russian Tsar was murdered, and as you can imagine, started a pretty serious uproar. The Church of Saint Dmitri is his legacy. They were such hard times back then that even the bell was punished for being rung at the time of his death, and he was exiled to Siberia for 3 centuries. Well, I guess it won't do that again. Just a stone's throw up the Volga River is the World Heritage listed Yaroslavl, an open-air museum of Russia's colourful past. The history that surrounds some of these places you get to visit is absolutely incredible. I mean, Yaroslavl has just celebrated its 1000th birthday. The art frescoes in the Elijah Cathedral are some of the best preserved in Russia. And get this, it's only ever been washed once, but somehow it's kept its magic. Possibly a bit of divine intervention. This little town is named after Yaroslavl the Wise. Now, he was a very educated man, that's a given. But what he was really smart at is that he married his 3 daughters off to the French, the Norwegian and the Hungarian kings. Now that is how you make some pretty serious allies. Allies that protect you and your town for centuries. While we're cruising between ports, Scenic give you the chance to try some of the more traditional crafts like Matryoshka dolls, and these are meant to be our masterpieces. Billy, yours is looking all right. Are you happy? Are you happy with that?
Not as good as yours.
I would be concerned I'm the only woman in this. No.
No, you're not.
Not woman. I'll tell you now, the Matryoshka doll competition is not for the faint-hearted. Too much? The Scenic Tsar is your home away from home while you're here in Russia, and this boat was specifically designed for this kind of cruising. There's technology you and I wouldn't even understand. It's luxuriously appointed for the more sophisticated among us. And your private deck is, well, private. This is one of the newest vessels in Russia, so expect the best. Comfort is everything, and you can even check in on the captain to make sure it's smooth sailing all the way to St. Petersburg.
My goodness, thank goodness for the modern technology that can hide when he was in his robe on the balcony. So a really nice little overview there. That was one of the towns that he visited, Uglitch, which I really enjoyed as well. It's just wonderful. You'll go inside the church here as well, learn all about the history of Peter the Great, etc. Also, with the cosmonauts, timepieces were made because there was watch factories in the area. I actually bought a couple of wristwatches when I was there. So it's something, if you're interested, it's something quite historical and it's something nice to take home. You have all the wonderful tour guides, all the English-speaking guides that come along, meet you in the different cities and towns that we visit. These guys just know it inside out. This is in Yaroslavl when we were there, and just having a wee wander around. You'll have the earpiece and the whisper set so you can listen to all the information that they're given. Yaroslavl, that you've seen it in the video, but I took this picture here of the eternal flame and the memorial of the Second World War, etc. Well, Russia, he lost so many soldiers, as did everyone in the world. But it's just a memorial here. A lovely town to walk around as well. Nice little markets, etc. Really enjoyed Yaroslavl. Keezy Island, this is really nice as well. The Church of the Transfiguration. They say there's not a single piece of metal or nails in that woodwork. It's all joined together in an incredible place built around about 1714 area. Great. So that's Keezy Island. Nice place to stop as well on your cruise between Moscow and Petersburg. I took this picture from the balcony, just wanted to show you all these little villages and forests and everything that you travel along. So very, very different from Europe in the way the scenery is, etc., but in a great way. Mandrogi is a nice little place that we visit as well. This was a town that was abandoned many years ago. What they're trying to do is bring back the kind of traditional Russian life, and you have some musical performances here as well. There's a vodka museum here, over 2,000 different varieties. I thought it was just one or two vodkas. I didn't know. It's incredible what you learn. A wee bit like whiskey, I would say, lots of different varieties. Have lunch included in one of the little houses. That was a great experience. We really enjoyed that. And then you have a wee walk back to the ship and off you set again. And then Volgograd, or Stalingrad, as most people would probably know it as well. Great city to visit. Obviously, a lot of terrible fighting went on there in the Second World War. And this is the statue of Mamayev Kurgan, and this is where a lot of the fighting happened, just under in that area where the statue is. You'll learn all about that when you visit Volgograd. So another beautiful destination when you travel with Scenic Tsar in Russia. And then St. Petersburg, wow, the myriad of canals, the Venice of the North, they call it, the Church of the Spilt Blood, we visit as well. I just loved walking around St. Petersburg. Beautiful, beautiful city. Hermitage, you'll need days to do the Hermitage. We go in and take you around a little bit, show you some of the artwork, etc. in there. Formerly the Winter Palace. Great place to visit. No cameras allowed inside. Just remember that if you're thinking about that, it will tell you as you're entering. But it's a nice included excursion with Scenic. But as I said, you would need days and days because the place is ginormous. But it's great to see some great architecture. Well, this is when we walked in. This is the staircase we come up, and the beautiful pillars and the ceiling, really intricate artwork, etc. Really, really nice place to visit. And then Scenic Free Choice, as I mentioned, all your tours are included. This is Peterhof Palace. Loved going out here. This was great. On the outskirts of St. Petersburg, you've got the fountains all going as well, the beautiful gardens, Catherine the Great, the history of that as well. And then that kind of, when you follow the water down there, you can walk along the paths, you can see the people. That is the Gulf of Finland down there as well. A lot of people sometimes, they'll finish in St. Petersburg and they'll take the train to Helsinki in Finland, something a little bit different. Remember, flights are included with Scenic well when you travel in Russia from the UK airports. And then Scenic enriches beautiful enhancements that we have, little experiences like in Moscow, we go and see a choir of an evening. In St. Petersburg, next to the Neva River, we go to a beautiful personal ballet performance for Scenic clients only. That was a great experience. Just all about the ballet performance in Russia, you know. And then when I went again to Moscow, I went inside the Kremlin, went to the Bolshoi Ballet and seen Swan Lake. Wow, I would never forget these things. And I hope you travel with us and you'll have memories of a lifetime. So there's, just to finish off, there's some questions that people always kind of ask, and hope this gives you a good update. So the weather is May through to October, really, that Scenic will travel. It's May, September, because the weather's better. You can't travel in the winter because the rivers freeze over and some of the lakes as well. It just gets cold, but it's really nice and hot in the summertime, which I found really quite, I always expected it to be colder. As I mentioned, you'll be sailing during the day sometime as well, but they have things for people to do, for the guests to do as well. So you've got all that, and you can sit up in the sun deck experience and everything. There is a doctor on board, small doctor's area. So because of the distances are so vast and you're so far away from things, they have to have that on the Russian ships. Currency is the Russian ruble, and you can get that when you're in the country. You can also use US dollars, but they have to be crisp, brand new notes. They won't take them otherwise. I used the ATM a couple of times, which was quite easy. Laundry, you can actually look at in a hotel, you'll tick off the socks or trousers, etc., but they charge you for that. So they'll take it away and do the laundry for you. And then clothing, it's nice to have a wee dress up of a night, as you can see at the captain's dinner there. Special occasions when you're going to the ballet at night as well. But nice and casual during the day. And remember, good sturdy walking shoes, because you'll be doing a wee bit of walking around Moscow and all these towns and the streets, etc. Your arrival, we'll meet you, take you to there, and we do door-to-door transfers with Scenic in the UK within a 75-mile radius, take you to the airport. Flights included over to Moscow. You will be given an invitation letter, and then you have to process the visa at the Russian consulate. You have to fill the form out. There's some quite strong questions in there. Where have you been in the last 10 years, etc. I went to Edinburgh to process mine. You can go to Manchester, there's Dublin, and there's also down in London as well. So remember that you have to do the visa, because if you do your own thing in Moscow, something you walk around the streets yourself, that's the reason that you need a visa. But it makes it all for that much better experience than just on a block visa and doing a block tour. For example, a large cruise ship. Good information there. And so, yeah, so hopefully you'll go and inquire further with your preferred travel agent. We work very closely with travel agents in the UK, and they can look after you, give you prices, the itineraries, etc. And they'll tell you about the latest super early bird deals, etc., that are out there in the market. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that gives you a little bit of an overview of what Scenic do in Russia, and we look forward to seeing you on board in the not too distant future. Thank you so much. Bye.